Excuse me, Allie?
Yes,
Your
ma'am.
10 o'clock Mandy is here.
Okay, bring her in.
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, my name is Allie. It's nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. I'm Mandy.
Great. So these are some information here. This is just explaining what I do. And if you have any questions, you can ask me. You just sign, let you know that everything we say is private. I won't discuss this with anybody else. If you happen to bring in family later, anything that we said beforehand will not be discussed. It'll be strictly what you want them to hear or discuss.
Okay.
Okay, so what brings you in today?
You know, I've been having a lot of issues in life lately. I've noticed I'm eating a lot. My depression has came back from when I was a child. I don't quite feel myself, and I felt like coming to talk with somebody could maybe help me get past this hump that I'm facing.
Okay. Now, what is your role in your family? What do you do?
Well, I'm kind of like the care provider, you know. I keep the household afloat. When my daughter was home, you know, I used to make sure everything was good to go for her to go to school, for her to go to her activities and whatnot. And since she's left, haven't really been able to do that. I also, I work for a company in the insurance field.
Okay.
Haven't been able to really work so well lately. Just feel like my mind's going 10 other ways. Yeah.
Okay, so you brought up your daughter. You said she left. Where did she go?
She went to college.
Okay. And how's your relationship with her? How would you describe that?
Oh man, she's been my mini me for forever. You know, we've done everything together, from her little dance recitals to her gymnastics and all of her activities and studying and staying up late and boys and life, and I've just always been her rock, but little did she know she's always been mine.
That's usually how it is. Now, has that relationship changed since she's moved out?
You know, she said she'd call and she'd stay in touch all the time and things wouldn't change. And I've noticed lately that she's not calling as much. I don't know if she realizes it or not, but not having that total support system from her and my rock available just at a moment's notice it's been really difficult.
That sounds difficult. I know how hard that can be to go from one set thing every day to completely out of everything. Now, you cooked for her every day and did chores with her.
Well, she didn't so much do chores as I did, but yeah, we made sure the household was together.
Now, do you still go through the same routine?
I try to, but you know, some days, just the way that I'm feeling is just, it becomes really hard to, you know, even do the dishes.
Now, since she's been gone, can you walk me through a typical day at home?
Sometimes I wake up early, sometimes I don't want to get out of bed. I get up and have myself a cup of coffee. Sometimes it gives me life. Sometimes I just sit there on the couch staring into space. Aside from that, a typical day when I don't have to go to work is going to be trying to accomplish all the tasks. I just find it's harder now to, you know, get the laundry and all the chores and the cooking and everything done for the day. And it's like my husband just won't help at all. It's like he doesn't understand what I'm going through.
So, do you guys communicate at all? Like, do you talk to him about your issues and what you feel is going on?
Oh no.
No.
No. He's never been a very emotionally open person.
And why do you feel that, or why do you think he feels that way?
Well, you could have something really exciting go on, and he's a lawyer, so you know he's pretty much at work all the time. And you can have something go on, and whenever you go tell him, oh hey, you know, this happened, blah blah blah, something really good, he'd literally just look up from his paper and go, that's good, darling. But recently, he's changed firms and he's not having the same amount of income come in. And we've been struggling since I'm not working to pay all the bills and, you know, help with the college tuition and all of that stuff for Taylor. And I think Tom honestly just really isn't adapting to the situation in the manner that he thinks he's the one that's supposed to bring in all the money. But I now know it's my responsibility as well. But sometimes it's just too hard to get out of bed.
Now, did you have any, you said you did have depression as a kid before meeting Tom and your daughter?
Yes, I've struggled with it for a long time. I feel like having the whole family unit and the happily ever after kind of like pushed it to the back burner.
What about past? Do you have any history of depression? Or your parents, I assume they're still alive, right? Did they have any depression or anything related to that?
No, I think Mom always looked happy. But they were kind of always just really surface people. You never really knew when they were having bad times or good times, except for when they woke you up because they were arguing in the den. And then you'd know that they were having issues, but you couldn't really tell. It was kind of a mask, I feel.
Now, your relationship with your parents, how was that? Was it anything similar to you and Taylor?
You know, now that I think of it, it has its similarities. Just on the basis you could never really tell him when he does communicate with me on like what I was talking about earlier, and you can't really ever sense emotions out of him. I like to think that I'm not like my mother and that, I've always conveyed a sense of love to both my husband and my daughter. But maybe that was just the surface.
So let's go back to your husband, because now that Taylor's gone, it is just you and your husband at the moment. You guys have to kind of resurface and reword the way you do your family. It's not about Taylor anymore. What is your intimacy like? Is the romance still there? Is it awkward? Like, how would you?
I might have cobwebs down there.
Okay, so no intimacy. Okay. So your goals, what would you say your goals are to get out of like this session?
Just what I need to do to be happy again.
Okay. So we need to focus on work. Obviously, you have been calling out of work, and that's due to depression, right? It's due to you not wanting to get out of bed and
Right.
Okay. And then your husband. So I think what we need to do is focus on a pattern that you and your husband can work on, a set of goals that you guys can accomplish together. I definitely want to try to work with that intimacy. I know that may sound awkward, but
I don't feel sexy anymore.
Why?
I'm just not happy with my life since Taylor left.
Okay, well, unfortunately, your life cannot revolve around Taylor anymore. You have to move on. So what we're going to do, it's called a structural family therapy. It's basically a set of rules or guidelines that allows you guys to provide benefits to the entire family. It'll encourage growth through all the individuals, and we'll first focus on you and your husband, and then we can bring Taylor into later. Maybe bring her into a session. Maybe you guys can talk. Maybe we can work on getting her to have set days where she calls you. I know college can be overwhelming, but on boundaries. We need to have set boundaries between you and Tom. I know that you were saying that you prefer him not to do some of the housework, but maybe that would take some of the load off of you. Maybe get him to do something as simple as what? Laundry, take out the trash, maybe do some dishes.
Yeah, I think really anything would help.
Okay. That way we can split the task. We'll allow your emotional state to build up. We can maybe help with those headaches that you've been having, which is causing you to call out of work. You think that's from the overwhelming from home?
Yeah, I'm just always so tired. I don't ever want to get out of bed. And just when I do get out of bed, it's just like my brain doesn't want to function.
Okay, so we'll definitely work on that. And then our last phase that we will work on is our spouse subsystem. We need to increase the intimacy. Once that's increased, I know that sounds odd, but once we got some intimacy going on, it will build a stronger relationship between the two of y'all. What you said, your intimacy is not very.
No. No, and it's quick when it is.
Okay, well, maybe we can.
I just don't feel sexy anymore.
Well, that might take some time. That's just from all the emotions that build up. But it goes back to the depression. If you can get yourself up today every day and put on some nice clothes and do your hair, you'll feel so much better about yourself.
I tried today. I tried to look nice.
It looks
for
great.
you.
It looks absolutely.
I still don't feel sexy though.
Well, that's going to take some time. I think you're a beautiful woman.
Well, thank you.
It takes time for everyone to feel good about themselves.
I know, I'm ready for it.
Okay. So we've talked about getting our establishing a better communication between you and Taylor. We've discussed tasks for your spouse and you to do. We need to strengthen your intimacy. And we need to clear boundaries. We need to set goals, which you setting goals would be like
Getting out of bed and going to work.
yeah, I don't really want to make that that's something you have to do. You need a goal that every day, okay, today I'm going to accomplish this. What would
So like baby steps. Like baby steps. So today I'm not gonna go home and cry because Taylor hasn't called me. Maybe today I'll go home and go sew a dress.
There you go. All right. Then once we get all that done, we will address the individual, the couple, the family problems. I want to learn more about your past, your family, but we need to focus on just you.
Okay.
And once we get that going, maybe we can bring the whole family in. We can see habits, anything that might trigger any depression. I don't believe in medication, so we're going to talk it out, and I am going to always be here for you.
So I can call you whenever I need you.
You can call me whenever you need me.
Even if it's 2 o'clock in the morning. And
Even
I
if
can't
it's 2.
sleep, 'cause I
Well,
slept
maybe
all
you can
day.
send me an email at that point. So focus on you and your husband, and of course work. I mean, you guys got bills piling up. We need to get you back into that
do.
groove.
I need to get back to the old me. I was very more content in my life and happier and smiled all the time.
Okay. So do you feel like the session did you well? That you kind of know where you need to be?
Yeah, I need to find more things that make me happy, so that I'm not just focusing on Taylor not being here and Tom not being as supportive. And then as Tom comes in and does this with me, things I think will, or I would hope so, that they would get easier having somebody to help us communicate and kind of learn to love one another the way we once did before, you know?
Exactly. Well, Manny, it was great meeting you. I look
Thank
forward
you,
to
Allie.
seeing you next week. I'll be more than happy to walk you out.
Maybe I'll make you a dress.
Maybe.
Thank you.
I'm pretty tall, though.
You have a great day.
You too.